On today's The OTP Road to Nashville, wide receivers in the 2019 draft. They come in all shapes and sizes. We'll preview the best ones. We show you the specifics of the downtown Nashville draft plan so you'll have a lay of the land. And we reveal the special 2 weeks of events for Titans season ticket members. And it is impressive. All that and more next on the April 5th OTP Road to Nashville. It's 20 days until players are drafted in Nashville. Welcome to the OTP Road to Nashville. My name is Mike Keith, joined by Amie Wells. April 5th.
April 5th.
20 days away.
I can't believe it. Time is flying.
Remember, we'll take your questions throughout the show via social media. So if you're watching us live on Facebook or Twitter, hit us.
Yeah.
Hit us. We'll drop them in through the course of the program.
We want to hear from you. We figured it out, I think. Day one was a success.
It was a success.
I think that we've got a handle on this now, and we're going to get to as many questions as we can throughout the show.
Got a lot to do on this Friday. Let's jump right into morning headlines. How about Daniel Jones, quarterback, Duke University?
Holy smokes.
He is seeing everybody at this point. Adam Schefter reporting that the Giants, Denver, Miami, the Chargers have all worked him out.
Yep.
And that Washington is up next. I think he is a wild card in the first round, and we talked about it when we previewed quarterbacks on Monday. Daniel Jones from Duke is the one that could be the fourth quarterback that could go in the first round. Could have four quarterbacks go before the Titans pick at 19, and it's probably a good thing for the Titans if that happens.
I was going to say that exact thing. It's really interesting for the teams that are around some of those teams that aren't looking for quarterbacks. Because, you know, as a draft goes on, when teams start to get nervous that their guy's not going to be there, that's when the trades start happening. That's when things start to get interesting. So the more teams are working him out, the more teams are showing interest in him, the more things could get interesting as we get closer and closer to draft day, which is so exciting for everybody else.
All right. Headline number 2, the Jets' new uniforms. Did you have a chance to look at them?
I did. I think they're kind of cool. They're slick. I think they're simple yet effective, and I like that. I'm a classic kind of girl.
Well, the green part of it leaves you asking the question, what exactly would you do with them? Here's the look.
I think it's sleek. It's sophisticated.
I don't know that they need the New York on the front. We kind of know that. It's not like it's...
Well, I mean, they're repping for their home city. I get it.
Yeah, their home city's like the number one city in the world. I mean, we get it.
No, I mean, I think it's good.
For some
Shout
teams...
Shout out to the home
New
people.
York?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's not exact. I mean, that's not like the shout out to Cleveland or... It's
Wait
New York.
a minute.
Well, but I'm saying New York is New York.
Right. But, I mean, Cleveland probably wants their jerseys to say Cleveland
on
the front. See, there you go.
But
that's
I'm
what
saying that's I think that's just a difference of opinion. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. I think the uniform look is good overall. I like the black uniform, which appears to be their third look. I think that's very, very sharp. So, and it's shiny. And I think teams are going to that though.
The nicest thing you can say is that it's shiny.
I think it's good. I like it. I said I like it, but the shiny helmets, I think that's good. And we're seeing that more and more.
I think it's simple and I like it. I think it looks cool.
So the third headline is who will be announcing the Titans 2019 picks. And Wait
a minute.
How are we doing, Mike Keith?
Is something big happening here? We just totally got what is this, podcast bombed? I think that's what we call this.
Jon Robinson, general manager of the Tennessee Titans.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I heard you guys are having a lot of fun down here, so I thought I'd pop in and see what was going on.
Well, what a surprise.
Sir, general manager Jon Robinson, it's...
I made the podcast.
You've made well, I mean, you can be on the podcast anytime.
It's a momentous day right here for me. Let me tell you, Mike.
Do you want me to go ahead with headlines? Or
go ahead.
Okay. So announcing the 2019 Titans picks, which is kind of ironic because it really doesn't matter to him. He's the one that does it.
Right, that's true. This is a little anticlimactic for the guy making the pick.
Roger Goodell will announce the first overall pick for the Titans at number 19 if Jon Robinson stays there. And then Eddie George has the second-round pick. Jarrell Casey has the third-round pick. Cage the Elephant will announce the fourth-round pick. The fifth-round pick, that's to be announced. And then the sixth-round pick, maybe you, through the social media contest that we've been talking about, is that you have a chance to go on the stage. And, I mean, what a great thing it is that you get a chance potentially, if you are the person who's selected, to walk up there and get in via social media. And we'll show you how you do it. TitansOnline.com/announce the pick. You could be the one who does that.
If we stay at those picks.
See, that's the thing. That's why I knew he would start it. So he comes in. Tell people what you call the OTP. Go ahead.
The beat.
The beat. Every day he comes by and he goes,
the beat, Mike?
How's the beat, Mike? Yeah. So now we're going to run the thing about who announces the picks, and he's going to say, yeah, that's great, but I may not even do that.
Right. The only guy who's in charge. You never know.
I mean, you got to be prepared. I mean, it's like football. You got to have knees bent, head on a swivel. You got to be ready, just like AP. Anthony Pastrana, our video director, he's the one there at the table that I say, AP, write this name down, and I spell it out for him. And then he always wants to give a specific position, and I'm like, no, we're going to go broad. If we could just put football player down, I would.
But you can't do that.
No, you've got to kind of narrow it down to position group. So I'll go offensive lineman.
Okay, so let's say for real, so you call AP, Anthony Pastrana.
Yep.
And he's the one that you tell, and then he takes the card to someone specific, or he calls somebody?
No, so he and Joey Bronco, one of our equipment managers, those two are at the table. And either AP will be there on the headset. Usually the first night they're both there. By the time it gets to day 3, Joey may be getting a hot dog and a soda, and AP's manning the phone. Who knows? All bets are off on day 3. But yeah, there'll be somebody behind the table, and once they write the name down, they'll hand the card to that person, and the person will take it up to the league, and then they'll verify, and then they'll give it to the commissioner. So, and according to how long is on the pick, if there's 10 minutes, and there's not a pick coming on, I'll ask him. I'll say, hey, AP, is there any action going on? Because usually when you have a trade, there'll be a runner go to this team and another runner will go to the team that's on the clock, and they'll say, yeah, it looks like something's cooking. Maybe, I don't know, Cleveland's on the clock, and they say, it looks like something's cooking with Denver here, because there'll be a runner that goes over to Denver's table. And, you say, all right, well, then you start to kind of look and say, all right, well, what's Denver doing? Who are they who are they going after? So you're constantly kind of running through those scenarios in your mind about who's going where, what's happening. Sometimes I'll have a little bit of early intel on, stuff that's going to shake down. And I'll tell him, I'll say, hey, AP, look for something here. It looks like, keep an eye on, I don't know, Atlanta. And then he'll go, yep, action at Atlanta. So, yeah, told you.
Are you it's like playing a game of chess for 3 straight days. Are you just mentally completely wiped out when Saturday night comes?
I wouldn't say mentally wiped out, because, after the draft is over, then you have the post-draft process, which that's the wild, wild west. It's a frenzy to try to sign, to fill out your 90-man roster. It's busy. It is hectic. But, at the end of the day, we come away with good football players with the picks and in post-draft free agency, which we did last year. Those undrafted guys. We made some hay on some of those guys. And but yeah, it's I'm ready to exhale a little bit on Saturday evening and Sunday morning. But we're back in here usually on Sunday morning, just kind of combing through and seeing, all right, this player didn't get signed. Inevitably, you'll get a text at 10 o'clock. From an agent that says, hey, we had a deal with this team, but it looks like it fell through. Do you have a spot for player whatever? And I'll go back in Sunday and, you hash back through it again. So
your work is never over. How long do you get to kind of exhale, have that moment where you breathe before you start working on the next draft? We know it happens a lot earlier than we start talking about it.
Yeah, so our scouts, they're already working on the 2020 draft now. As they've gone to these pro days, they've talked to the coaches, and and the staffs at these respective colleges and said, hey, who are your guys for next year? Can you rank these guys? Who are going to be your prospects? So they're already starting to cultivate that list of prospects for the 2020 draft. And then we'll. I'm not gonna on Monday morning. I'm not gonna dive back in and start working on evaluating 2020 draft players. I kind of know who some of them are already because some of those guys that didn't come out, you was like, all right, that guy was a pretty good player. He went back to school. So, but it won't be long. We'll turn the page and get working on those guys.
See if we have questions for Jon Robinson live on social media.
I know. I'm looking right now.
I bet there are a few. But while we do that, the whole thing about this being the 100th year of the NFL, the draft in Nashville, all these special people announcing the picks. Let's show who some of the others are. And if you're an NFL fan, and I know you grew up just a big football fan too, I mean, the list of who's coming to announce picks for other teams is really unreal. A total of 64 current and former players. Sean Alexander, Geno Atkins, one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL right now, Carl Eller and Darrell Green, DeAndre Hopkins, Jackson, Tennessee's own Ed Too-Tall Jones, former Vol Jamal Lewis, T.O. making a pick for San Francisco, the great Jackie Slater, Al Wilson, another West Tennesseans on the list, and Charles Woodson. I mean, this is a show. And I know you can't look at it that way because this is your job, but you do get it. You do get the significance of Nashville hosting, this being the 100th year, and what it means.
Yeah, and we're going to be on a global stage here in Nashville. This is it's a huge event for the NFL. It's awesome for our city. It's awesome for our community. There's going to be a ton of people. There's going to be a ton of revenue generated for our city. There's going to be a ton of buzz about Nashville, and those of us that live here, we know what a destination city it is because. We see all the the comings and goings of people coming into Nashville. So, I think to have the NFL here, that's going to be a pretty special weekend. We'll be bunkered in upstairs trying to get the picks right. That's going to be our job. So, but it's really awesome. And it seems like the draft has grown every single year. I mean, I was a lowly scout way back in 2000, 2001, whenever I first started with New England, and I can remember where it was 2 days, and even further back, it was 12 or 13 rounds. Wasn't really well publicized or all that. Now it's it's a primetime event.
I've got questions from social media if you're willing to answer.
Here we go. Fire away.
Jason would like to know, how are other teams informed of what other teams are doing? So how do you get some of the heads up on what other teams are doing?
That's a good question.
As we get closer to the draft?
That's a great question, Jason. Yeah, it's inevitably in today's society, people talk, and we try to over the next 3 weeks, the smoke and mirror game starts. The rumors and the buzz starts about. You're trying to chum the water over here to maybe try to attract over here, but you're really fishing over here. That whole process is going to go on over the next 3 weeks. So, you talk to people around the league, and inevitably somebody's going to spill the beans. Fortunately for us, knock on wood, we haven't spilled many beans around here, and I know that's not always fun, but we try to do that to protect the team and try to protect. The players that we're going to go after and try to target. And there's guys that, we may be associated with that we do have some general interest in. Where that's at, I don't know. I certainly can't say that here on the beat, but it's fun. It's a great process. It's an important part of the team building process here, and we're looking forward to it.
Andrew wants to know, how do you keep the sheer volume of information that you have in your head on draft night organized?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. We have a database system, and where you can pull up reports. There's different things within that report that you can click on. At the end of the day, I'm going to narrow it down. I don't know how many names are on our draft board. I hadn't counted lately, but there's several, and but I'll narrow that down. There's guys that are up there that we know we're not going to be able to pick. They're just going to go too high. And then there's players that are up there that, they really just don't fit our football team for whatever reason. Maybe it's a character issue, maybe it's schematically, maybe it's a position where we don't really think that we need to target, and we call that window dressing. So they're up there and it's just kind of window dressing. They're up there pretty high, and we would consider them at some point, but probably not, maybe at an earlier pick. So, the database certainly helps. Having all the scouts in there certainly helps, where you can ask questions here and there. And you take all that information, but at the end of the day, you certainly rely on your instinct too. Kind of what you think.
Michael would want to know. I know that you're trying to stay flexible and trying to get the best player available, but of the impressive ones, how do you determine who is the most impressive?
Well, that's a again, I think that's an instinct thing. I think that's you spend a lot of time with these guys, certainly at going all the way back to the Senior Bowl, when we're able to get in front of some of those guys at the combine in that, setting, albeit brief, but you can kind of get an idea. And then at these pro days with the visits, the 30 visits that we're allowed to bring players in, and private workouts when you go and maybe spend a half a day with a prospect, you just kind of develop a rapport with a guy. And it's kind of like dating, and you're just like, all right, well, I really like this guy. I think he can help us. I'm about what he's about. It seems like he would be about what we're about, and he's a really good football player. There may be equal talent, skills-wise, but one you kind of have a relationship with and you just feel it, and the other one you don't. It's not to take anything away from the player that you just don't feel it with, but you're going to lean on the guy that you have exposure with and that you feel like is going to be a good fit.
Our fans on social media, I've noticed, have been very fascinated by facial hair this offseason. They really like Mike Vrabel's mustache, and today they really like your beard. Is this like a playoff beard situation? Is this here to stay for a while?
Yeah, just kind of, I don't know. I just forgot to pack a razor and kind of let it get bristly, and here we are. So
well, they like it.
Swiss, I guess it's a little Swiss Family Robinson-ish, maybe.
Is that Swiss Family Robinson?
Yeah.
It's like me talking about Mr. Robinson.
I don't think I'm Swiss.
You didn't come down here to make fun of Mr. Robinson's neighborhood that I've been talking about, right?
But feel free to.
No, is that what are we doing here?
See, I have a tendency I give people nicknames, I give things names, and one of the things that I talk about with the draft is the people 3 picks in front of you and the people 3 picks behind you. I refer to that as Mr. Robinson's neighborhood because you are Jon Robinson, and you're looking at the.
So I've been told.
Yes, you are. You're looking at the 3 teams in front of you and the 3 teams after you to kind of figure out maneuvers when you get to your point. What the teams do at number 1 and number 2 don't affect you as much when you're at 19. So that's what I thought you were coming down to make fun of that. Or was there any other specific purpose that you walked? Do you want to share some news with us? Because our viewers, our listeners would love to know something. We could break news right here. You're live at this moment.
Weather's supposed to be good.
Okay.
That was good.
So we're going to talk about
why you guys do a weather report here on the beat?
We will the week of. We
really?
will.
Oh,
yeah,
will
that'll
we?
be pretty
Yes,
important since we're out.
Yeah, since we're outside, we will be doing weather the week of the draft. There's no doubt about it.
Will y'all do like a chant, like rain, rain, stay away? Come
No,
again another day.
That's probably
like
another show.
That'll
be another show.
We'll table
That's a
that
different
one.
program.
Yeah, we'll just kind of let that one.
So we're going to talk about wide receiver prospects today, and everybody wants you to. Everybody
yeah.
always wants you to take
Got it
a
all
wide
figured
receiver.
out down here on the beat, don't you, Mike? Tell us who we're going to draft.
You want to stick around and
I don't even
comment
know-
on
I don't
these
even know why
guys?
I'm watching-
That would be awesome.
I don't even know why I'm watching film. I just come down here and listen to the beat. You guys have them all stacked up.
The beat.
All right. Oh, seriously, it's been good. I thought I'd pop in and say I really appreciate what you guys do for our football
thank
team.
you.
I
Oh,
appreciate
thank
you. You're promoting the fireball, and I'm gonna get back up and do actual.
So you don't want to stay for the wide
No,
receivers?
as much as I would really, really, really love to, Mike, I think I will pass and go back up and watch a position group that I will not disclose on air. And see
He
how those
doesn't
guys
disclose
stack up.
anything in the hall either.
It's true.
You don't disclose anything anywhere.
Well,
That's my
certainly
point.
not this time of year.
No.
it's.
You cover your plate in the lunchroom. I mean, that's.
I wouldn't go that far.
You may be the most secretive person. You are the hardest guy to read I've ever met in my entire life.
Maybe I should do that. I'm not really a gambler. I was going to say maybe I could do that poker thing.
Yeah. You
What's that world poker tournament or something?
Mm-hmm.
You and Chris
Moneymaker Johnson,
Yeah.
or whatever his
Yeah.
name is. He got the hat on and the glasses, and
Nice.
he's just sitting there like stoic.
You wouldn't need that.
You could do that.
Just go.
Well,
cold turkey.
thanks for
Yeah,
swinging
you
by
guys
the
have
OTP.
a great rest
we
of the
call it-
podcast.
See, we have a logo
OTP,
and everything.
I got it. I'm on it now.
The OTP Road to Nashville.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Road to Nashville. That's where the draft's at. So
Yes, it is. That would be fitting.
Sure is.
right over there.
Yes.
Mike.
Thank you.
So. All right, you guys are great. Tighten up.
Tighten up.
Well, there you go. You never know what you're going to get on this show.
Oh,
Full of surprises.
I knew what I was going to get when he walked in.
The beat actually makes me laugh
I know,
every time.
But he harasses me about everything. So the draft is just 20 days away, and
Jon Robinson's working hard.
Jon Robinson's working hard. We're going to need just a moment to kind of reset after the visit because we're clearly off schedule.
Yeah, well, if you guys didn't pick up on that, we had no clue that was going to happen. The fear in Mike's eyes was so real.
Oh, I knew it was.
You just experienced raw emotion here on the OTP.
Between the
Our boss walked in and
Yes.
scared the bejesus out of us, but it was great.
Well, especially because we're talking about his
Him,
area.
yeah.
So you're sitting here every day I see him, I'm thinking, oh gosh, did we bring up somebody or something but
Oh,
he's in all seriousness, he's great about it because he gets that people dig the draft.
Mm-hmm.
He gets he understands why people do the mock drafts. I mean, there are a lot of great things about working with Jon Robinson. I hope he's not watching the beat right now. But there are many great things about him. And I think the thing that I will say first and foremost, and Vrabel's this way too, they were fans before they ever got here.
Right.
And I'm saying they were fans of the NFL, and they know it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a nice thing. They understand this is not a science lab. And I understand the secrecy, but at the same time, they get why people would be interested.
Absolutely.
You see either one of them at Kroger, and they're not going to tell you what they're doing, but they'll stand there and talk ball with you because they get it. And I appreciate, as somebody in the non-football end, you appreciate when the football people get why we all love this.
Absolutely. And they're very helpful and understanding to why this is so important
Right.
and why
The beat.
everybody wants to be involved in this. And they're very helpful
Is my
for
face
us.
still so red because I'm just like,
I feel like we need fans
I
in
know.
here or something.
Well, let's
I'm
take-
sweating.
now,
Whew.
in terms of fans, though, 20 days away,
Get it?
I know. The exact draft layout in downtown Nashville. We promised. I'm lost. I'm sorry. In case you don't know, NFL Vice President Matt Shapiro took the time to lay out for us what it's all going to look like. And so here's a look for you in case you're just starting to get the gauge of what draft weekend is going to look like. First and Broadway. We all know First and Broadway. A lot of great things. Unveiled the uniforms there last April. That stage, that openness. Take us through what that experience is going to be for the NFL fans. What are they going to see on First and Broadway?
Yeah, they're going to see a lot. I mean, they're certainly going to see the draft itself, the commissioner coming out, making those selections in round one with some special guests. There'll be just a lot of sort of sizzle and excitement on night one. Night two, rounds 2 and 3, we're in celebration of our 100th season, we're actually going to bring back some of the greatest players of all time and some active players. So in round 2, we're going to focus on great first round picks of all the teams selecting. And in round 3, we're going to focus on later round picks. So really making it special again with some both active and legends players. On day 3, rounds 4 and 5, the Titans will make their picks live here from Nashville, but on the screens you're going to see kind of a whip around the country of the local picks being made in Jacksonville or Las Vegas or New York or wherever else they're going to be, which kind of gives that great local flavor. And then in round 7, we're going to spend a lot of time here in Nashville using the podium at that main stage to highlight fans here in Nashville, highlight some of the season ticket members from other clubs. So from a football perspective, it's going to be terrific. I think the other really exciting thing this year is the amount of music and kind of the music integration. Obviously, we're here in Music City, so we're going to be doing doing a lot to lean into that, and there's sort of a few different things there. So on Thursday night before the draft, we're going to have Moon Taxi perform, free, open to anyone who's there. On Friday night after round 3, Tim McGraw is going to be performing for fans, and followed by some fireworks. And then on day 3, after the event, we're going to have a number of acts, and then Dierks Bentley will be there to perform. So fully sort of leaning into that music, and that doesn't even talk about kind of the other side near Nissan Stadium, where we'll have a constant music stage where it'll almost feel like the honky-tonks have come outside and really been part of the draft. So we're just embracing everything that we think makes Nashville special.
Admission to the draft on First and Broadway is free, but you do have to register via an app. If you could explain that would be great.
I would say the draft on First and Broadway is free, but the draft in our mind is also what's going on at Nissan Stadium. So we want people kind of in both of those places. We know it's going to get busy and crowded down on Broadway, and there's a lot of breathing room on the other side by the stadium. So when we thought about how to kind of set up this footprint, we did it in a way that we wanted it to feel connected, and we wanted people to be able to have great experiences on both sides of the river. Fan Mobile Pass and our draft app are great sort of companions to this event. You can come down and just kind of walk around. We know that there'll be some people who are just at the bars or hanging out, but downloading that app, going to nfl.com/draft experience and getting your Fan Mobile Pass, getting your app, really helps you participate in everything. It sort of serves as your waiver. It serves as your push notification information source, schedules, all those types of things. So it really just enhances the experience overall.
So again, tell people where they need to go for the app.
Sure, nfl.com/draft experience, and it's also available in the App Store.
Awesome. Now, Selection Square. This is something that's a little different, and the NFL has taken sort of a different twist with it in Nashville. Talk about that.
We have. So Selection Square is really the business of the draft. Everything else is fun and pomp and circumstance, but truly where the selections are being made, or where those 32 tables are, and there's sort of a head table of our management council actually running the business of the draft. It kind of harkens back to that idea of all the people sitting in a hotel, ballroom. That's where the picks are being made. This year, we are opening that up to fans who can come into the Symphony Center and experience that. They can watch the card going up, being handed into the front. It's kind of a fascinating moment for a lot of our avid fans, and we're still working through some other exciting elements for fans to experience. But they can come in, experience that. It'll obviously be weatherproof, which is another sort of key factor as we think about the operations of this draft, making sure that no matter the weather outside, that the clock never stops. Obviously, from a competitive perspective, we need to make sure that the draft runs, and being there in the Symphony Center will help us do that.
I have always heard incredible things about the NFL draft experience. That will be set up in and around Nissan Stadium. Right. What is the NFL draft experience, and why is it such a big deal?
When you talk about the vision of the draft and how it's grown over the last few years, doing that for the first year in Chicago, I think, is what opened everyone's mind in 2015. So the draft was no longer kind of just sitting in Radio City Music Hall and waiting in the 6th round, seeing which position was picked for your team. It really broadened out the draft to be something that was more than just for avid fans. It was for casual fans, families, people who just kind of wanted to come out and experience a festival, to eat some food, listen to music, kick a field goal, run the 40-yard dash, get an autograph signing, look at the Vince Lombardi trophy or the Super Bowl ring. So that's what it is. It's a free, open to the public, very family-friendly opportunity that sort of complements the draft. But while you're there, you're certainly going to feel like you're at the draft. We're going to have screens throughout the entire experience, audio, to make sure that it's not as though you're at a different experience. You're at the NFL draft experience. So while you're enjoying these things, again, eating, drinking, playing a game, getting an autograph, you're watching the draft. You know who the Titans picked, you know who anyone picked, and you're totally part of the experience over there.
What an opportunity this is for the Mid-South. For 3 days, the center of the NFL universe is Nashville, Tennessee. For those of us who've watched the draft for years, we really have no idea how big this experience is from what we can see on television. If you're telling somebody, you've got to go see this, you've got to be part of this, explain to the NFL fan what they can't miss about the experience that they're going to have at the 2019 NFL Draft, April 25th through the 27th.
Yeah, I mean, we make all of the experiences ones that I would argue are can't miss. So I would suggest someone comes down and sees what's going on Broadway. I think this theater structure in and of itself is going to be a marvel, and certainly people who are from Nashville kind of seeing that landscape in a very different light for a few days, I think will be fascinating. The draft experience over at Nissan Stadium, it's just, if you're an NFL fan, it's incredible. It's sort of just a football paradise where you can hang out, do all those sorts of things, be totally surrounded by the NFL. And I would certainly suggest checking out Selection Square, which is, again, if you're interested in the draft, it is the heartbeat of the draft. It's where the business takes place. So I think if you can see all those three things, kind of walk through all that at the experience, there's hundreds of things to do. So just so much going on. We're really excited about it.
We're going to have a lot more to come about that next week on the OTP Road to Nashville as the NFL releases even more information.
Mm-hmm.
As it takes shape, as you look at what he's saying and you see the diagrams and you get the vision of it, you get it.
Yes, absolutely.
And you get why they think Nashville is perfect.
Well, and just for frame of reference, because I know it's fresh on everyone's mind with it being the year anniversary of the uniform unveil, you kind of have a jumping off point if you went to that event. It kind of gives you an idea of what it might look like a little bit, but in your brain multiply that by 10.
Right.
Because that's how big this is going to be. But it gives you kind of a frame of reference. But you're absolutely right. The closer that we get to everything, there will be more and more things announced and more things that you can be a part of. It's only going to get better from here, folks. Until the actual event comes, there's just going to be more and more buildup. And it's so exciting.
All right, let's turn to the draft itself, and let's talk about wide receivers. The top guys on most of the lists are the same, but the guy at the very top, well, that's different really on everybody's list.
There is no consensus when it comes to wide receivers. The only consensus is that Ole Miss's DK Metcalf put on one of the greatest shows ever at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis.
Physical freak. If you look at the pictures online, it looks like he's trying out for defensive end. He's got to develop as a route runner, but he can get vertical and go up and get the ball as well as anyone in this draft.
Big body playmaker, maybe the most explosive prospect in the draft. He's big, he's physical, he can play in a variety of different ways, has the ability to run past you, but also can do some of the catch and run things, and he's a big body, so he can help you in the run game.
DK Metcalf's NFL Combine might make him a top 10 pick, but he was not the most productive receiver on the Ole Miss team. That was A.J. Brown. At 6 feet, 225 pounds, Brown posted the best back-to-back seasons in Rebel receiving history, and his run after the catch ability makes him extra special. Ohio State receivers have proven they can be extra special, and Paris Campbell is the next one. When the 205-pounder ran a 4.31 at the NFL Combine, he put himself on everyone's radar, especially when it comes to potential.
I think my ceiling is high for the position. I made the transition when I got to college. It was a struggle for me early on, but I, continued to work and it got me to the place I am now. But definitely, I think my ceiling is high. I think I have a lot of potential to still reach for sure.
From there, let's talk Kelvin Harmon from North Carolina State.
Big playmaker. This is a guy to average over 19 yards a catch. He can do it in a variety of different ways, has enough speed to run past people, but also does a great job of winning the 50-50 balls down the red zone.
How about a quick strike burner who doesn't have to be in the red zone to score? I'm talking about Oklahoma's Marquise Brown.
He can score from anywhere on the field. It doesn't matter. And when he gets out in the open, you're not going to catch him. So many teams, there's the Tyreek Hill effect, trying to find somebody that can just be that, generate those explosive plays. And he can do it. Not only, getting over the top, you can just flip him the ball in the flat. He makes one guy miss, and he's gone.
Let's go from a small receiver to some big receiver prospects. N'Keal Harry, Arizona State. Dylan Mitchell, Oregon. Riley Ridley, Georgia. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Stanford. And Emmanuel Hall, who played at Missouri, but hails from the Nashville area.
Tall, long, lean, and fast. And that's all you have to know. He's not a great route runner. He's got to develop that regard. He's had some injuries. He had trouble staying healthy this past year. But when he is healthy, he can get down the field. And he's not as big as Metcalf, but it's the same thing. He can run away from guys, and he also can go up and get the ball in contested throws.
I tell you a guy I really liked on tape, and I think he fits the X role in the NFL, and that's Hakeem Butler from Iowa State. Big kid, I think he moves well. I think he's 6'5", he's 220-ish. I see him as that kind of receiver.
Here's another wide receiver prospect for you. We visited with him as he made a name for himself at the Reese's Senior Bowl. Andy Isabella, wide receiver UMass. He's better than Tajay Sharp. Don't tell Tajay we said that. He's better in terms of statistics because this man broke all of Tajay's records playing for the Minutemen. Now, you obviously know Tajay.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you broke all those records, what kind of example did he set for you at UMass?
Well, he set the standard. I mean, he set the standard. That's what people want to do. They want to break a record, and then someone else is meant to break it. So he set the standard. He showed us all how to work to get it. He was out there before practice working on his craft, and he showed that's what you have to do. So I kind of copied what he did to break his records one day.
How much does it help you in this process that a UMass receiver was drafted just a couple years earlier and has 3 years earlier to be exact, and has done well in the league?
It was awesome. I mean, we got to watch him on the Senior Bowl, watch him on the Combine. So it's like that guy, we knew that guy kind of like, so you've seen that guy in there. So maybe we could do that one day. So he just set the stage for all other UMass receivers, and I was just following in his footsteps.
Why was Andy Isabella successful at UMass as a wide receiver?
Because I listened to everyone around me, and I did the things the right way. I always did things the right way. I never cheated. I always put my best work at hand. I always showed up on time, and did all the little things. And I think all the little things accumulated to the big things, and ended up having a great career.
Are you tired of being compared with Julian Edelman already?
I think my girlfriend would love that, but
but that's another story.
That's another story. But yeah, you know.
But you hear it a lot.
Yeah, hear it a lot.
Do you compare yourself to other players? Do you see yourself in the mold of somebody else, or are you the one and only Andy Isabella?
No, I like comparing myself to like explosive players like T.Y. Hilton, Tyreek Hill, Brandon Cooks, those guys. So that's my goal. I mean, obviously Julian Edelman's a great receiver. He's most reliable player on the Patriots. I mean, you saw him make 2 huge third down conversions. I mean, I live for those moments too.
Really like Andy Isabella. He's a good player. There are a lot of receivers in this draft overall, and again, as we said in the piece, they come in all shapes and sizes. Some of the other top receivers that we look at, lots of talk about Miles Boykin from Notre Dame because of his incredible size. The other guy on that particular list, Mecole Hardman from Georgia, a very versatile guy. And then I'm intrigued by Jalen Hurd because he's from Beach High School in Hendersonville. What he did at the University of Tennessee as a running back, he goes to the Combine, measures over 6'4", 228. After transferring to Baylor, he turned out to be a very good receiver. You wonder if some people don't see him as a tight end at some point or an H. I mean, there's so much that you could potentially do with him. And I think Jalen Hurd is going to be one of the big names that's talked about on draft weekend.
Now, there is someone that we intentionally left off the list, and that's South Carolina's Deebo Samuel. And he could really be a steal for someone, right?
He could be. And I think Deebo Samuel in 2016 was on the verge of something special, and then 3 games into the 2017 season, he broke his leg. He came back last year in 2018 and played for the Gamecocks and did a really nice job, but he wasn't quite what he was in 2016. In 2016, he's the combat catcher, as Dave McGinnis likes to say, winning the one-on-one battles. He's the great run-after-the-catch guy. He's an outstanding returner. He is big play after big play. And you're talking about 6 feet 210. So it's almost like a running back out there, and he has this ability to make plays all over the field. What he did after South Carolina's season ended is he went to work getting ready for the Senior Bowl. So instead of preparing for a game every week, he was preparing his body to go and have a chance to play in Mobile, and he was outstanding. Rock Ya-Sin, the talented defensive back, went one-on-one with him a great deal, and Rock Ya-Sin had some true battles with him overall. So it was good stuff for Deebo Samuel, and I think somebody's going to steal Deebo Samuel because I think you're going to end up getting 2016 Deebo Samuel, which was better than 2018 Deebo Samuel.
Well,
because he's healthy.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a guy who's going to come in and achieve and succeed what he was able to achieve at his best and his healthiest. So
yes.
Hopefully.
I'm interested to see the Titans wide receivers, and as we take a look at the Titan wide receiver depth, I think what's exciting here is you've just got that Adam Humphries at the top, and having that player is such a big deal because it fills a hole. Corey Davis, Taywan Taylor, Tajay Sharp, and Adam Humphries, you feel pretty good about your top 4, and then you've got Jennings and Batson and Ross and Lewis to compete. And probably more competition coming either via the draft, free agency, undrafted free agents. Certainly there are going to be more players added, but the top 4 you feel really good about.
Absolutely. And what sticks out to me is we've always talked about the youth in the wide receiver room. They're all relatively young, but there's no one really who's brand new anymore.
Green.
Yeah. So they're still young. They still have a lot of life in front of them, but there's a little bit more experience now. They understand how this is going to work. They've established a rapport with Marcus Mariota. They've got their legs under them now. So that is a really good feeling for me that there's still so much left in the tank, but they kind of know what's happening now, and adding a couple more weapons to that room can't hurt.
No doubt. Mm-hmm. And I think everyone felt really great, and I know Titans fans felt really great about the signing of Adam Humphries from Tampa Bay. People really feeling like that he was a missing piece in this Titans receiving corps. Wide receiver Adam Humphries, one of the newest Tennessee Titans, signing with the ball club. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Do you mind being called a slot receiver?
I don't. I
Okay.
don't mind. Yeah, I take pride in that position, so I do not mind being called that.
What is the secret to being a great slot receiver?
Spatial awareness, understanding coverages. It's a totally different world than, being on the outside, and, having a great relationship with your quarterback, knowing, where blitzes are coming from, and if you're needed, in those blitzes. And you got to be tough. You got to be able to take a couple hits across the middle and all that stuff. So, a lot goes into being a good slot receiver.
What does success in a Titans uniform look like for Adam Humphries?
Being a dominant slot receiver in this league, and obviously with Delaney Walker coming back, we'll be great. Inside threats, and we got Corey Davis and some other receivers outside, to help us out. So I'm excited to be a piece of the puzzle that can help propel this team into a playoff run and continue the success going forward.
Adam Humphries, glad to have him as a Tennessee Titan, and glad to have with us in studio Stephanie Atkins, the Senior Manager of Ticket Services.
Hi, guys.
How are you? You're in
great.
the Jon Robinson chair.
Yeah, I did not know when I agreed to do this that I was going to have to follow the GM. So
we
that's
didn't
a little
know either.
We didn't know
so
either.
It wasn't really a trap. This just happened. Today took a hard left,
Sure, it
but we're
wasn't.
really excited about
So
it.
he's working hard upstairs here at St. Thomas Sports Park. You're working hard with the rest of the ticket folks at Nissan Stadium.
Yep.
And this whole month is really kind of a wild time because I think everybody sees it as a unique opportunity.
Yeah, this is, you guys know this, 10 months ago probably, we started talking about, hey, the draft is coming to Nashville. What are we going to do for season ticket members? They're our most important fans. They're the strongest part of our fan base. And we started that conversation a long time ago. So this has all of these events that we're doing here in the next few weeks have been in the works for months.
When did you – so they announced the draft on May the 23rd. Nashville's going to get the draft May the 23rd. When did you have your first meeting about planning season ticket member events?
Before that.
Really?
Yeah, so I think once there was even a whisper, we started to have some conversations internally. And then once it was green lighted, we full go and started, planning site visits, talking about programming, all of these things. So we're about to do, I think it's 16 events in 16 days.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're on your calendar.
They are.
so-
I didn't know it was that many.
Steph is
I didn't
concerned that Mike looks so
Yeah, I'm a
surprised.
Okay, now what we want to do, we want to run through
Yeah.
for not only the season ticket members, but for those who are thinking about becoming a season ticket member, because you could still get in on this.
Absolutely.
But just for everybody to see the level of commitment the season ticket staff has, we're going to go through. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do play-by-play.
All right.
All right, you're going to be Coach Mack. You're doing color commentary. Amie is going to be on the sidelines just like normal. So you just chime in because this could get a little dry unless we just pop it. So are
Okay,
you ready?
okay.
All right. Let's start on April 15th in Jackson. The Jackson Chamber, Kyle Spurgeon and his folks helping us at Hub City Brewery, where we are meeting with Titan season ticket members. Stephanie, what's this going to be like?
So this is basically the Mike Keith show.
Oh, wow.
It's a one-man show.
But come anyway.
But come anyway.
Yeah.
We'll have a couple hundred people there, food, drinks, and you're going to basically give us a nice preview of the draft. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to spend about 2 hours in Jackson. It's been a few years since we went out that way, so we'll take our show on the road a couple times that week.
We're going to Jackson.
There's probably going to be a ton of good information there. You are kind of the authority
And
on all
Hub City
things Titans
Brewery,
draft.
Hub City Brewing is supposed to be outstanding.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to be in Jackson on the 15th. Let's move next to April the 17th. Our friends at the Dixon Rotary helping us out by organizing a season ticket member event at Greystone Golf Club.
Yeah, so Greystone Golf Club, we've not been there before. Some really nice people in Jackson helping us out, about 120 people. Sorry, Dixon.
Yes.
About 120 people there. And you and Coach Mack will also make an appearance there. So that'll be a good one to
Coach Mack, enough
get us
said.
rolling. I know.
Enough
His first
said.
draft appearance for us.
All right, so we go next to Nashville.
Yeah.
Diskin Cider.
Yes.
Amie Wells, have you been to Diskin Cider?
No, it's on my list, actually. I might go to this event just
All right.
because.
Come hang with us.
John Robinson with the preview.
Yes, the big guy. So
The big guy, Thursday, April the 18th. So
Absolutely.
we go Jackson on the 15th. We go Dixon on the 17th. We're at Diskin Cider on April the 18th, week before the draft. Then we get into draft week.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I will not sleep.
All
I
right.
will sleep at the stadium,
On
I guess.
Monday, who do we have at the George Jones?
We have our owner,
The
Amy Adams
boss.
Strunk.
The boss for a
Yes.
luncheon. You
Very
can come
excited.
if you're a season ticket member. You can attend this. You can pick one event.
You can pick one event.
So if you haven't picked an event right now,
Yes.
you can be at this luncheon with Amy Adams
Yep,
Strunk.
you got a reminder email today. So click on the link, call us, talk to your service rep, pick your event. We want to give you a very special, unique draft experience, and you will find something that is for you, whatever your interest is that week.
Say you can't make lunch on Monday. How about dinner?
Yeah, let's do it.
How about let's go to dinner? Let's have dinner on the 22nd. Another event at the George Jones at 5:30.
Yep, on the rooftop. And we some of these, we've got special guests that are yet to be announced, so we still have some surprises up our sleeve.
Nice.
But yeah.
If
all
you
in,
haven't
George
been
Jones.
to George Jones, by the way,
Great view of the stadium.
So cool.
Yes.
Great views.
Yes. My
All
favorite
right.
view of the stadium.
Let's
Yep.
say Monday doesn't work for you.
Come Tuesday.
Come Tuesday.
Hang out
Lunch
with
on
27.
Tuesday. And guess who's there?
Eddie
Edward
George.
Nathan George.
You don't have to call him by his full name.
Hi,
you can
that's
just call
what
him
I call
Eddie.
lunch.
I
He'll
call him Mr.
respond.
George.
Lunch.
We're not on a first name
But
basis.
let's say, okay, you can't make the lunch on the 23rd with Eddie George,
Well,
or
come
it
to
fills up quickly.
Come to dinner.
So you want to know about the draft, and you love the Big Orange. How about Charles Davis at the George Jones for dinner?
I'll tell you all about it.
Charles Davis, who does our preseason TV. He's on NFL Network, in town to do the draft. He's on Fox. He's on their number 2 team. People love Charles Davis. Dinner with Charles Davis at 5:30
Yep.
at the George Jones.
And Mike's buying.
I'm buying. Yes,
buying.
it's on me. But that one's going to fill up fast because I know all the Vols out there are going to want to see Charles Davis.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so say Tuesday doesn't work for you.
Well, let's go Wednesday.
So Monday or Tuesday doesn't work. How about Wednesday?
Yep, let's do it.
Look at this. Luncheon at the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I think Amie Wells is going to be at that event.
I think I might be at
You
that
Yes.
event.
Awesome venue. We're really excited about that. We can host a large number of people there for a luncheon. We'll have some former players there, other special guests, and again, Mike will buy everybody lunch. So
All right, but let's
come on.
say Wednesday lunch doesn't work for you. Let's move to dinner time. Maybe you like a radio show. The General Jackson Showboat,
Yeah,
but not at Opryland.
we're taking it to the water.
Where will it be?
Docked on the Nissan Stadium side of the Cumberland.
So it's going to be docked across from the stage, across the water from the
Yes.
stage.
So you're basically right in the middle of all of it.
Wait a minute. Jon Robinson's there. Mike Vrabel's there.
Yep.
Titans Radio's there. 6 to 7, you can be part of this season ticket member special event.
Yes.
And there's spots still available for
There are
this?
spots still available for that, and then we'll have a kickoff party after. So we'll have live music, food, drinks. It'll be a nice kickoff for that Thursday, Friday.
All right. Well, what if I can't make Wednesday night?
Well, then Thursday,
Thursday,
we're back on the boat,
we're back on the boat.
but it's full.
But it's full. Yeah, we're doing the draft there. But then on Friday, we've got a lunch.
We do.
We've got a lunch. Titans first round picks are our guests.
That's so cool.
Yes,
I've seen some of the names. Are you willing to say names yet?
We can tease some
Say,
names.
say a name.
Sure. We
Say
can
a name.
I can say a
Like
name.
that
I
name?
Can,
Like the,
can I give
the
a
name
number?
like the name 50 like
I can go
Evans 54 right here?
Our most recent first round selection.
But they're going to be a bunch of former first round picks.
Yeah.
So if I'm like a collector and I want to get a football signed by former first round picks, this
That
would be
would
the
be-
place
this
to
may
come.
be your thing.
Yeah.
And this is still available.
This is still available.
Not many spots, though, I would bet. No. Okay. All right. So we've done that one. So you can make it out on Friday, and then let's say you want to come by at the end. Let's say you want the wrap-up. Let's say you want to get the whole picture. Dave McGinnis at Martin's Barbecue the Tuesday after the draft at 5:30. Coach Mack will give you the straight stuff on all the newest Titans.
Exactly.
He won't jerk you around. He'll give you the good
He'll give you
information that you're looking for.
Yes, right out of the notebook that you saw on Wednesday on the show.
Full breakdown, barbecue, good time.
Yep. What more could you want?
How does one order season tickets if they don't have them?
So you can go to titansonline.com/tickets.
Okay.
And then you can also call 615-565-4200. And we've got an office full of sales reps that are happy to, get you on board and get you signed up for a draft event as well.
And if you're a season ticket member, extension 1, you can talk to a rep.
Yeah, option 1 is for our existing season ticket members. Talk to your service rep. And then option 2 is anyone that's interested. And we've got some special offers lined up for them as well.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole it's going to be crazy, right?
It's going to be a good 16 days.
But what you're doing is you're saying we hope it's not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We hope the draft comes back. But you're playing it like it is. You're saying we're going to make this special and give you, a Titan season ticket member, a different access, a different experience to the Nashville draft.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, why we started having these conversations 10-plus months ago was it's that important to us as an organization to offer our season ticket members the best, most special, unique experience that we can, because for some of us, it might be once in a lifetime. And I think if you were at the uniform reveal, you're talking about it earlier, that, if you experienced that, and as a Titans fan and as a Titans employee, that was one of my greatest memories. And this is just, that times 100.
Mm-hmm.
And, to give that and for us to experience that with our best fans is going to be so cool for all of us.
So the message here is, if you're an existing season ticket member, get in an event.
Yeah, get in quickly.
Get in quickly because we're doing Titans Radio draft coverage on the General Jackson Thursday and Friday. That's already gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every spot is already gone to be with us for the first round and the second and the third round on the General Jackson. Stuff is going to go fast today. So call your spouse, call your kids.
Get the babysitter.
Come
hang with us.
And do it, because we'll do it right. The other thing, too, is if you're considering season tickets.
Now is the time.
And you said it the other day, the home schedule is unbelievable.
Exactly. If you've been toying with being a season ticket member for the last couple years, kind of going back and forth, now is the time to pull the trigger. The home schedule is awesome. This team on the rise. These events, insane.
Yeah.
Now is the time to become a Tennessee Titans season ticket member. Just do it today. Stop messing around. Pull the trigger.
Look at that home schedule.
Yeah.
Playing the best division in football right now. That means Houston, Indy, and Jacksonville. Buffalo, Kansas City, the Chargers, the Saints, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then the 2 preseason games as well.
Yeah.
Hearing some interesting things about preseason schedule.
I am too. There's some funny
hearing
little
some
rumors going
rumblings.
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
And more interesting than well, anyway, I got to stop there. Hearing some rumblings. Anyway, this is really something.
Yeah, this is great. And like Amie said, get on board now. I know we're really pushing draft and trying to build on this momentum that we have, but we're doing stuff for season ticket members year round. That's part of, the benefits package that you're buying into. We have special experiences. I
understand
offers,
you've got something special coming up in June for dads.
We do. We're going to have our first father-son pancake breakfast.
How about that?
How's that?
Well, that sounds like something I'm not invited to.
You're not. You're
I'm
out.
neither a father nor son, but it sounds nice.
But you're out.
Yeah, but I think, some more family-focused events.
That's right.
We try to take any feedback that we get. We've done a lot of different events over the years. And, all that feedback we get from season ticket members is valuable, and it's really just about trying to create the experience that they want. So things like that event, other unique offerings, that all comes from what we're hearing from fans. So.
Senior Manager of Ticket Services, Stephanie Atkins. Stay right there. We got to do take 3 before we get out of here. Jon Robinson extended this program. And by the way, understand we had some technical difficulties with the live stream somewhere in the middle of the program. Apologize for that. Remember, the whole thing will be replayed at titansonline.com so you can watch it. But also, subscribe to the podcast.
It'll all be there.
It'll all be there. And you can, while you're doing your workout, walking the dog, cutting the grass, you can listen to the OTP anywhere you get your podcasts. including at titansonline.com/podcasts.
Absolutely. And then you don't have to remember
You don't have to remember.
Downloads right to your phone. You look. It's a nice surprise every morning. Oh, my gosh, a new podcast. There you go.
Stephanie Atkins is going to answer all these questions. Go ahead, Amie.
No, this is going to be good. All right. For number one, our first question of take 3, Justin would like to know, can you see Jon Robinson trading out of the first round? With all of the depth and all of the talent that we have that is in this draft, is it better to have a bunch of second-round picks?
2 answers to that question specifically. Having a first-round pick is incredibly valuable today because under the current collective bargaining agreement, a first-round pick comes with a 5th-year option. A pick after the first round, it's just a standard 4-year contract. So, for example, Kevin Byard, because he was a third-round pick, does not have a 5th-year option, whereas Marcus Mariota does. So first-round picks are not nearly as expensive as they were 10 years ago under the last CBA, and the 5th-year option is a nice thing for teams to have. So that's the football point. The second point, Justin, is trading out of the first round in the year you host the draft?
No.
Justin. Come on now. Justin? I don't think so. It's a good question, though.
Mike Keith throwing some shade.
No,
I like it.
What's the shade? What's the shade?
Hang on, I'm moving on.
Keep going.
I'm moving on to question 2.
We're running out of time.
Do you think that Marcus Mariota and the Titans offense will have a bounce-back season in 2019?
Absolutely.
Period.
Yes.
All right. The third question of take 3. This is from Benjamin. He said, do you think that Amy Adams-Strunk would ever consider doing Oilers throwback uniforms?
I don't think that is a point right now because under the current specifications, you have 3 different uniforms. You have a home uniform, you have a road uniform, and then you have a third alternative. The Titans are choosing to do the Titans blue, the light blue, as the third opportunity. Would she consider it? Maybe so, but under the present format, unless it was a special year, some sort of anniversary, I don't think that's probably going to happen because the NFL is not – I mean, this is not Oregon where you're going to have 10 different uniforms. That's the present specification. Doesn't mean it would not change, but as it stands right now, that I love the light blue.
We love the light blue. Yeah.
And I love that
they're
she's
changing the numbers.
I know she's making the numbers bigger to help people like me. So I'm very appreciative.
Wear your
of that.
bifocals.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. Not bifocals.
I don't know.
Stop.
All right. Well, that was take 3. If you have questions for take 3 or for anything we're doing on this podcast, because clearly we never know what's going to happen.
Truly.
Send them to me on Twitter at TitansAmie. We'll get them asked right here.
All right. On Monday's OTP, The Road to Nashville, or it's the OTP Road to Nashville. I'll get it right. I'm lost.
You named the show.
Well,
I mean,
since he called it The Beat, I got
Still
thrown
first
off.
week.
Now we're just calling it The Beat.
The Beat. Preview tight ends, more on the draft access. We know we're going to have more from the league on that. And also, when will Mike Vrabel appear on the show? We know that. I
don't know.
And yes, well, he might just walk
Yeah,
in here like Jon
who
Robinson did.
knows?
But we do know, and we will tell you, and there's an important reason why we will tell you. All that and more.
Mystery.
It's subscribe. I'm so thrown off.
I love it.
TitansOnline.com/podcast to download it. And let me just say, as I look directly into the camera, Taylor Lewan, we hear you. You can stop. You can relax. We know you want to say hi. And everybody on social media sees it. You're welcome in here anytime.
Come be on our show, buddy.
Anytime.
We miss you.
You are welcome
We miss you, man.
anytime. Unless we have a guest or we're doing something important. But other than that, you're welcome anytime.
Oh, Taylor.
Oh, you know we love Taylor Lewan.
Oh, good old 77. He'll be in here.
So Jon Robinson walked in on the program today, and
And then the wheels came off.
the wheels came off. But
Yep.
it's been a great week. Thank you for all the great response. Thank you for downloading the podcast. Thank you for being part of the OTP Road to Nashville. For Stephanie Atkins, Jon Robinson, and Amie Wells, Mike Keith reminds you, it's 20 days until players are drafted in Nashville. Have a great weekend.